When we think of reading, we generally think of the ability to go over a written text. However, children nowadays are exposed to all types of texts, in which the ability to read also implies extracting information from icons, graphs, lists, drawings, or photos. This is why developing in children the capacity to read all types of texts is so important. In previous classroom sequences, we've seen learners reading icons, instructions, illustrations, and we've seen teachers asking them to comment on what they mean. What looks so simple to us is actually enormously complex. First, learners need to activate their schemata or prior knowledge to identify the type of text it is. Second, they have to recall the characteristics of each type of text. And lastly, they have to see whether all this information comes in handy for the new task. As this reading process is internalized, learners will be able to transfer knowledge to any type of text.
Now, can you see a text in the picture? What kind of text? Is it a paragraph? Is it a dialogue? Dialogue. Is it a dialogue? Why? ¿Cómo se dieron cuenta? The names. Dice, Caro, hello.
Describe the children.
Okay, describe the children. Entonces, ¿es un diálogo o no? No. Description. Y fíjense bien qué tiene. ¿Cómo es la burbujita del texto? Okay, it's like this. Y cuando tenemos estas burbujitas, generalmente ¿de qué son? ¿Qué nos indica, Lorenzo? Speak, exactly, that someone is speaking, que alguien va a hablar. Entonces, si alguien habla, están hablando entre ellos, all right? Fantastic. Now, how many of these bubbles can you see? 4 bubbles, fantastic. And how many people are there? 5. So 1 is not going to speak at all. All right, fantastic. Can you see bubbles here next to the characters? What do we have to write there? The name. ¿Y cómo me doy cuenta quién es quién? What do we have to do? For the description, exactly. So we have to read carefully. ¿Y en qué me tengo que concentrar? In the dialogue, in the description. Fantastic. ¿Y hay algún dato clave en qué van a prestar atención, Agus?
The hair.
The age, clothes. ¿Qué otra información nos da? Que nos ayuda, nos da. Face, eyes, fantastic.
If, for young learners, reading in their mother tongue is not that easy, it is definitely less so in a foreign language. So, what strategies can we resort to help them not to get discouraged? We can remind students that meaning can often be inferred once they read a whole sentence or paragraph. Or we can tell them not to stop reading when they come across the first word they don't understand or remember. We can also encourage them to search in their books if they recall having seen a word or structure before. Well, and we can also remind them that when an activity combines different types of texts, for example, photos and a written text, one normally throws light on the other.
Go to page 9. And in this case, we have a text, yes, about big cats. And what pictures can you see here? Tommy?
Jaguars,
Yes.
lion and tiger.
And tigers, so they are all related, like here, like in the pictures, all right? Are part of the same family, felines, exactly. And how is it divided? ¿Cómo está dividido el texto? ¿Es largo, es corto? ¿Agus? Es un entero, en pedacitos, en paragraphs, en pedacitos. ¿Por qué en pedacitos y no todo junto? ¿Alguien se le ocurre? ¿Azu?
Para no poner toda la información, poner un pedacito de...
Ok, ¿por qué te ayuda a vos que esté en pedacitos y no todo junto?
Porque te puede confundir más.
Ok, ¿a vos te sirve que esté separado?
Sí, porque si ponen todo es más largo y tardan más en buscar la información que necesitas.
Ok, ¿y acá hay alguna otra ayuda además del texto? Yes, Steffi. The pictures, las fotos nos ayudan. ¿Y están mezcladas las pictures o está el texto con la picture juntas? The picture and the text nos ayuda para organizarnos. Perfecto. And then says complete the fact file. What is a fact file? Any idea?
Los datos.
Los datos, ¿qué datos, Tommy? ¿Qué te ayuda a vos darte cuenta que fact file eran datos?
Because
Exactly. In green and in yellow, you have a square with, what can we say? Animal, habitat, description, diet, lifespan. ¿Qué son todos esos? It's categories, exactly. Y pregunta, ¿tengo espacio para qué? ¿Qué tipo de información voy a poner ahí? ¿Voy a volver a escribir todo el texto? Porque no.
Small information.
Small information.
The name, the description.
Exactly, specific information, the necessary information. Fantastic.
Reading aloud is an activity that young learners love. But how often do we need to read aloud in our daily lives? Well, except, of course, at school. Reading aloud is a valuable tool towards fluency. But this is only so when students have become very familiar with a text and have had the opportunity to listen to their teachers reading or to the recording for them to imitate their pronunciation and intonation.
Now we are going to open our books at page 99. 99 is the activity book now, yes? The exercise 7, number 7. Look at the pictures. You have to draw and write. Look at this. What is this, Yara? Is it a circle?
No, it's with my name. I have.
Yes, it's a square. Yes, it's kind of a square. ¿Y este cuadrado? ¿Qué tiene, Mica, adentro? ¿Tiene dibujos? ¿Qué tiene? Sentences. ¿Pero están completas estas sentences, Valen? No. ¿Qué tendremos que poner?
Por ejemplo, el nombre.
For example, the name. ¿Qué más, Mati, podemos poner?
The years old.
How old we are. Okay, for example, the first sentence says, my name. My name is Jose. ¿Qué puedo poner acá?
Ah, 16. ¿Cuántos años tenés?
How old are you?
How old are you?
23.
I'm 23.
Okay, so I'm 23. ¿Qué puedo poner acá?
I have got a dog. I have a dog.
I have a doll. ¿Qué más puedo poner, Yara, acá?
I have long hair. I have short hair.
I have long hair, short hair. Fantastic. I don't have. ¿Qué puedo poner con I don't have?
A bird.
A bird. Fantastic. I don't have a bird.
I don't have a dog.
A dog. Okay. A dog. A pet. Fantastic. My school bag is
Big.
horrible. What else, Mati?
Big.
Big. What else, Tommy?
Beautiful.
Beautiful. Very good. Now, you have 5 minutes to complete with your information, okay? Tommy. Fuerte, así te escuchan todos, dale.
I'm Thomas. I'm 8 years old. I have short brown hair. I don't have long yellow hair. My school bag is blue and black. My pencil case blue and red. And my English copybook is green.
Fantastic. ¿Se merece un aplauso? Yeah.
In this segment, the students first hear the teacher reading her own description on the board. Then the children are asked to come to the front to read theirs. If the previous stages have been well covered, there will be practically no need to interrupt a child while he or she is reading aloud. Constant interruptions are very discouraging. We teachers need to remember that making students read aloud a short scene from the story, after having worked on it in depth, can become a first step towards acting it out. Imitating a character's voice can be both a game of sorts and a moment of relaxation.
My name is Annie.
Very good.
My name is Lucky.
And what about you?
My name is Toby.
Oh, Tommy.
Who's Nessie? She's my friend. She's different. Look, I have a photo here. Whoa, it's a big photo. She's very beautiful. And very, very tall. Look, Kitty. It's very short. She's a baby. She's small and she's nice.
Very good. Yeah.
In this segment, and in preparation for the acting out, the students are asked to introduce themselves as the characters they will impersonate and read the lines they will later memorize. Reading aloud should never be used as an end in itself. It is advisable only when it leads on to greater fluency in speech. In storytelling, the comic strip format is a perfect vehicle for acquainting learners with real-life language and developing reading skills through the illustrations, which provide visual support or scaffolding. Comic strips are an intermediary step towards autonomous reading. In fact, quite a number of children, and many of us adults, have become avid readers thanks to the unforgettable reading experience derived from them. However, as is the case of all types of texts, learners need to learn the conventions of the genre. We often take for granted that kids know its features, forgetting that we also had to learn them, very probably through trial and error. It is of great help if children are already acquainted with the format in comics, magazines, or newspapers. But all the same, it's important to make young learners familiar with certain features. The title, the order in which the panels are read, the fact that they provide narrative sequence of the story, the presence of a narrator through captions, the difference between characters' thought and speech bubbles, the reading order of the bubbles from top downwards, and all the information that surfaces from the illustrations, which cannot be derived from the dialogue proper. Let's watch now a couple of teachers working on the conventions of the comic strip.
If you're going to look at pictures 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, and 3. Can you see here a yellow square, a rectangle, in fact? Ah, who is that? Ah, who is the narrator? Is the narrator Annie?
No, he's one person, he or he, que cuenta la historia.
Cuenta la historia, very good. Entonces no es ninguno de estos personajes que dijimos que aparecían. Es alguien que está como afuera de la historia. ¿Es verdad? Okay, that's true. But then there's another difference. Look at this. In picture number 2, Annie's mom is preparing a fruit salad, okay? And what is she doing or saying apart from preparing the fruit salad?
Sí.
What is she doing? ¿Qué está haciendo?
Pensando.
Pensando. ¿Y cómo te das cuenta que está pensando Annie's mom?
Que hay unos círculos.
Unos círculos. ¿Y cuál es la diferencia entonces si yo tengo Annie's mom pensando algo con alguien que está diciendo algo? ¿Quién me puede decir? Ceci, ¿te animás a decirme cuál es la diferencia? Por ejemplo, ¿en qué picture? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 o 6. ¿Ven que están? We follow the sequence. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. ¿En cuál hay un character diciendo algo?
El 6.
En el 6, very good. ¿Y qué está diciendo? ¿Y quién habla ahí?
Habla.
It's a man, we can say, su nombre. And what is he saying? Can you read it out?
Thank you. I have a big fish now.
Very good. And what's the difference between this bubble and the other one? ¿Cuál es la diferencia entre esta y la otra bubble? Yara, ¿te animás a venir a dibujarla vos? A ver. Great, very good. So here we know that the person is thinking, okay, he's using his head, he's thinking only, and here he is, or the character, it can be a she, is speaking, okay?
Let's look at these drawings. Is it a story?
Yes. A dialogue.
A dialogue. Very good. Do you know what to call these kind of drawings with dialogue? Historietas. Muy bien. And what kind of historietas, comic strips, do you know?
Yes.
As seen in the segments, once learners associate them with similar strips in their mother tongue, they soon feel at ease with them. It is necessary for students to become acquainted with the conventions of comic strips, reading the bubbles from top to bottom and from left to right, recognizing speech and thought bubbles, and understanding the role of captions. In this way, students can read and follow them. Once students have become acquainted with the conventions of the comic strip, we can resort to 3 major strategies to help kids enter the world of the story. First, they need to become familiar with the new vocabulary items before they start reading. At all ages, it is very frustrating and off-putting to be reading something you don't understand. Secondly, they can be invited to predict what the story will be about through a close look at the title and the illustrations. Kids are extremely inquisitive, and they love to be made to predict, and afterwards to confirm or discard their suppositions. In addition, learners also enjoy retrospecting, that is, relating what they are about to read to what they've already read. Lastly, the teacher can establish a link between the fictional world and the real world by telling students a personal anecdote related to the story, or making them come up with one by means of questions, as a warm-up of what is to follow. And now, yes, we are ready to plunge into the story. The story is actually the pretext for the internalization of new lexical items and structures. There are a great number of activities students can engage in, like games, discussions, short performances, and songs, which will enable students to shift their focus of attention from the language proper to activities that involve them as whole persons. We can well exploit the children's broad knowledge of the world around them. Let's take advantage of it by making them relate what takes place in the story to their own experience, to that of the people they know, and to what they've learned about the world thanks to books, TV, and the internet.
Now we are going to play a guessing game, not adivinar, yes? For example, Mika, what am I doing?
The mom is cooking.
Cooking, very good. Now, Agus, come. You have to guess what Agus is going to do, okay? Put up your hand if you know. Agus, you are? Put up your hand. Yara.
Agus is reading.
Reading, excellent, very good. Anna?
So, Matu, the category is sea animals. Go.
Giraffe.
Sea animal. Can you see the giraffe snorkeling around in the ocean?
Yes, it does.
Bye. In The Simpsons, it's true. Yes, it's true. When Homer plants. Okay. So, Bauti, your turn. The category is pets.
Dog. Cat.
We are teachers of languages. Each is a window to a different mindset, a wonderful means to access and understand other cultures, other worlds. Let us add, it's worth it.